You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. This is episode number 140 of East Central Indiana's favorite podcast. It's like the holiday edition episode, so everybody's here and everybody's punch drunk. So
and Jeremiah's
not
sick.
Me.
And Jeremiah's losing his voice. He's starting to sound like his Aunt Jean, who smacked too many.
Finally, our prayers have been answered.
I volunteer.
Smoked 42 packs of cigarettes today, apparently. East Central Indiana's favorite podcast. I'm Jeremiah Morrell. Today I'm joined by co-host Dakota Davis, other co-host Chase Peyton, this girl that used to host a show on the network, Tinfoil Time, which she made a promise to our patrons that maybe we'll talk about that later. I don't know. Audrey Davis, 9.5 months pregnant. Mason Rottinghaus, our intern, producer Chris Guffey. That's the crew.
I as well. I'm 9.5.
Today's episode features all of us. This is a host show. Like Jeremiah said, kind of a holiday edition. But today we are going to be focusing on the technology industry and what is going on in the future. We're going to talk about cord cutting, and that is not umbilical cords. We will be talking about...
Audrey drops the mic and leaves.
The future of driving with the Tesla Cybertruck that was just released to the public. And then we are going to talk about sports betting with Chase Peyton.
Does Chase Peyton know that?
He should. It's in the show notes.
What do you need to know?
Okay.
This show
Chris,
is about our
do a
lives
better job.
in rural Indiana. We're here to push your boundaries and make you think as individuals. Sometimes we will provoke you. Other times we'll make you laugh. But hopefully you'll always learn something new. Big show last week. We had Rob Kendall on. Lots and lots of folks watched our Red for Ed series and special. The ratings were huge. We appreciate all the feedback. Had some carryover onto Rob's show and what Rob does over at WIBC on the big 93.1 in Indianapolis. But this show is brought to you by viewers like you. And there's been some changes this week.
That's right. We always promise to thank the Patreon members before every show. And that is patreon.com/Boss Hog of Liberty is where you can sign up for the any monthly plan at any level. And you get access to show notes, a 20-minute bonus episode every week with us and the guests, and a whole lot of other things. There's different perks for different tiers that you go. And if you sign up at $50 or more a month, then we promise a solemn promise to tell the world about you and how great you are every week. Those folks are Christy Avery, Jonathan Phillips, Craig DaCosta, and brand new this week, Mr. Chris Lamb.
Woo! Awesome.
And also, 2 minutes before we started the big show, Brantley Spicer joined the Patreon as well. He is back on the Patreon side of things, supporting the show. So also, round of applause for Brantley.
Absolutely. Glad to have him back in the paying the winter heat bill club.
That's right. Yeah, we appreciate those folks quite a bit. I'm going to be dropping some show notes and putting them on our main page so that everybody can see them here soon. I will probably drop the Red for Rob episode show notes because those are pretty good. And Jeremiah totally screwed up the entire layout that I keep on the pages for this week. So I don't want to show those off.
I added some notations for you.
Yeah.
I try to help, and you just bitch at me.
You could have like made the font smaller or something.
I did make the font smaller. I did lots of non-standard things.
Changed everything.
I moved. Oh, this is like English composition. I needed more space, so I shrank the Patreon portion down to an 11-point font. I highlighted, underlined, and bolded a couple of items that I thought were very interesting. I didn't go all boomer and caps lock anything.
No, but look at what you did to the top.
I needed a little bit of room, so I moved over.
And you totally screwed up the final thoughts portion. It's just a whole mess. Not showing these to the people who just listen regularly. because this is not normal.
This is not approved by you.
No.
Well, you didn't go back and approve it to look at it, so I guess we'll just have to agree.
I can't read, so it looks okay.
Chase thinks it's fine.
If you don't want to support the show monthly, then you can check out some merchandise that we have on tchip.com. The tchip stores are tchip.com/BHOL1, 2, or 3. We also have tchip.com/Red for Rob. There's 3 weeks left on the Red for Rob promotion, and that is where $10 of your t-shirt purchase goes towards the Newcastle Career Center welding program, and $15 of a sweatshirt purchase goes towards the same program. And whenever I checked, which was at like 4 o'clock today, we were just shy of $100.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
In just a week, we've raised over almost $100. I'm sure it'll go past that. As you guys get your shirts, I want to see you wearing them. So selfies back, tag the Boss Hog page, and tag Rob Kendall, and get the old hashtag Red for Rob in there. So that'll be awesome.
I think we should issue an apology to the younger viewers, because as we were getting started, Audrey dropped the big GD word.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and I guess you didn't know we didn't cuss on this show.
Audrey,
Wow.
you're going to be a mother.
You got called out
What
by the
does
guy
that have to do with this?
that said he
I didn't
dropped
know
the,
we were going. I didn't know we were on.
he dropped the big F-bomb like 4 times during the Patreon portion.
All
And
right.
so did producer Chris over there.
All right, we've got some.
This is a family show.
Wow.
We've got some housekeeping to work through before we get into the big portion of the show. Thanksgiving is coming up, and
That's true.
We all lost a very dear friend of ours last year, Eric the Turkey, the Newcastle Turkey. He's no longer with us.
In the arms of the angels.
So I just thought maybe it would be appropriate
If you donate
for us
just $1 a month.
for us to have a moment of silence for the fallen turkey, the mascot of all of Henry County and Newcastle and our hearts. I guess we're going to start that now. We don't know if Eric the Turkey is actually dead or if he's living in Hobo Woods off Trojan Lane.
Wow,
What?
that is super offensive.
Did you say hobo?
Was that wrong?
Yeah.
I thought it was called Hobo
You
Woods.
can't say the big H
no,
word,
it's
man.
it's Trojan Woods now, because hobo is a very derogatory term that is used to describe homeless people.
Yeah.
Well, the turkey's homeless, and he may potentially, Eric the Turkey either lives behind the Jiffy Lube in the cemetery or
It's like
over
saying
there off Hobo Woods.
the H word for homeless people is like saying the K word for Jewish people. We don't do it on this show. It's a family-friendly show.
So
Awesome.
So I'm going to take my marker and scratch out
I like to think that Eric the
Hobo
Turkey,
Woods.
that was his name, right?
Yeah, Eric.
Eric.
He was-
I like to think that he faked his death and he's still out there somewhere.
Somewhere.
Maybe.
Like Elvis.
All right.
He's still out there.
Here's the other problem.
Wait, we covered that. Didn't we?
did, yeah.
Okay.
On Tinfoil at a Time, that show that you promised our weekly donors that you're going to make. Last I heard, Audrey, you had like 3 or 4 shows written up, ready to go, and you and Dakota were just looking to
We still do.
come on by the show.
Yeah, they're still
You're
there.
still there.
Clearly, they're doing something else.
What
Sheriff.
what has been happening to
pregnant.
keep you from delivering these this stuff to our fans?
We live like 20 minutes away now.
That's true.
I live just as
Plus-
far as you do.
Plus, we give them
I'm not
probably
gonna come
better
up
bonus
here.
content
I don't
now.
want to.
She doesn't want to be around the people. We've already established this.
They can,
Wow.
if you join the Patreon, then they are still in the Patreon feed.
Well, the old ones
You can
are.
still listen
Can we do
to
a poll?
But I-
the
Can we do a
backlog.
poll after this?
What do you want us to poll?
Whether or not we should do it again?
Ooh, what the
Don't
name
do that,
should be.
because then we'll get roped into doing it.
Do you think these people are going to say no? Absolutely not. We hated it. We
Okay.
don't want to hear from Audrey.
We should
Okay.
do a poll on what the baby's name should be.
It's Jackson. Where have you
Yeah,
been?
I think if we
Well,
start,
it depends.
We going,
something
Jackson.
cool, like,
Chase says it depends. Like,
I think if Ruoff comes through with some money,
like Leonardo.
we can rename this baby.
no, we'll name it Klondike and get free Klondike bars for about 10 years.
All right.
Like, as in, like,
It was-
So
I announced
here's
it to
the
the
other.
people before
We're
you
working
did.
through the list. Can I have my show back, Intern Mason? You'll speak when you're spoken
Wait, there's
to.
a
okay?
list. I can't read.
be seen and not heard, please.
We'll call on you when we need you. My phone blew up this morning. Bob and Tom apparently have been listening to our program, and this morning they were making fun of us. Donnie Baker. You guys know Donnie Baker.
Love Donnie Baker.
And the pork
Well,
pistols.
you used to love Donnie Baker. He called into the show this morning talking about Thanksgiving and the family getting together. And if producer Chris can get this right, he's got the audio.
But nowadays, you got all the Republicans in your family hanging out in the study watching Fox News while all their Democrat kids are posted up behind the mini barn smoking pot.
Thanksgiving.
And then all the while, my mom is stuck in the kitchen with your libertarian cousin who's droning on and on about how popular his podcast is. And how
What's the name, Jared? I can't hear.
Chase can't hear anything.
I'm going to interview the Dick who came in 7th on the 14th season of Survivor. Oh, God.
That'll be a good podcast.
And we're up to 114 followers in 3 different counties. Anyways, the reason I'm calling is I always hear.
Oh, so that's Donnie Baker.
We are up
calling
to
in.
Mr. Baker. We are up to 1,400 followers. Now we're close to 2,000 now. But still,
Our
he's
ratings are
way
massive.
off. Yeah,
That's insulting.
that was.
And I talked to more than mom at Thanksgiving about the podcast. I got stopped twice in public in Indianapolis. This is actually not a joke. There's no joking here at all. Twice. My wife says 3 times. I don't remember. At least twice as myself in Indianapolis on Friday and Saturday from this show. People are like, hey, you're that guy from the podcast. And I don't know how to deal with celebrities, so I just shake their hand and say, yeah, great. Thank you. I love it. Awesome. But then I don't remember their names.
My house gets egged at least twice a week.
it should.
Well, you deserve it.
That's not nearly enough.
So the folks over at Bob and Tom are listening, and I did get the messages this morning, and I don't listen to their show often, but many of you do, and I think we're gonna have to talk to our boy Sean Rao and talk about our
Who has
our
a degree
options
from Google?
He's got his American Samoa degree and his Google degree, and we're just gonna have to consult our team and see if maybe we can get Donnie Baker's boat out of the deal.
I'm fine with it. I don't know what comment you're looking for from me. I agree with all that.
My dog is dying, right? Riley is not good. He's got a failing liver.
Yeah.
And we found out last week that it's like $120 a month if I buy the cheap Canadian drugs,
Which makes it terminal.
or like $240 a month for.
I think you should take it over to Mexico and do those hormone shots.
I don't know. I keep asking Google, hey Google, can you add a Riley liver to the shopping list? And then Sarah never comes home with one from the Kroger.
For everyone who just got really offended that I made a joke about Jeremiah's dying dog,
go back and listen to the first 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Everything that's happening to me and my poor Riley is, it's really just the dog god.
It's already been lived.
It's them smoting me with Dakota and his sad German Shepherd.
True.
Oh God.
So we got mentioned on
I'm
the
sorry
Bob
that it
and Tom
happened
show.
to Riley.
Yeah, this morning.
Well, I
Chase,
couldn't
you're the
hear.
worst. You're the worst. You're literally the worst.
So that's pretty cool.
Why don't you have your headphones? What you didn't bring your headphones today? What
Stolen
happened?
from me, Jer.
Well, I want names.
I can't name names. Anyways, that's pretty cool. My grandpa used to listen to them back in like the 70s. He's dead now. So. This one's for you, Grandpa.
Okay.
That is funny.
All right.
A good joke.
So cord cutting. I pitched this topic, and I said we need to talk about this. And Dakota said, "Hey, Boomer, we already have talked about this.
Episode 109.
We just did this." And I said, "Yeah, but now it's different because Disney Plus exists."
Oh, yeah, it does.
And I said, is it really that different? So then I just went to the episode 109 show notes and copied and pasted them into this week's. And you didn't even notice.
I don't get this. I'm like Chase. I don't pay that much attention.
I just added Disney Plus to
So
one section.
Disney Plus has existed for 2 weeks, and they've got 10 million subscribers.
Overrated.
I've not used it. I've not tried it. I understand that there's a new baby Star Wars movie.
Whoa, wait. You have tried it.
You did provide a screening, and we watched part of a Daniel Stearns film.
We watched Rookie of the
My
Year.
wife's holding a finger up.
Oh, good movie.
She has an objection.
Because Jeremiah's cheap.
We haven't done it.
Ken and
because
Gray raised Jeremiah's taxes by $8 a month, and now
can't
he
afford
can't
it.
even afford Disney
between my
Plus.
$240 a month Riley pill and the fact that well, honestly, they moved Thanksgiving this year, Audrey. This happened. It's very late. I got Hulu as a Black Friday special last year for 99 cents a month. Mm-hmm. Today's the anniversary of Black Friday. So I paid $5.99 and I immediately went in and canceled Hulu.
How can you live without Hulu?
Because I have YouTube TV. This is the point, is I have YouTube TV. I don't need Hulu. I don't need every one of these damn things. Today was also the day, because it's the anniversary of Black Friday like 8 years ago, or Cyber Monday. This is the day my Amazon Prime trigger hit as well. So that was another $119 for the year.
Yeah, that's rough.
I was like 16 8 years ago.
I feel like we should go around the room.
Whenever the
I was
Disney
12.
or whenever the Amazon Prime, whenever that gets taken out, you're like,
I was little.
God, yeah, that sucked. And I immediately said, so this is the way the world works. And Amazon probably knows me at this point. They literally targeted their release of something today for me. I said, I think I can live without it. Screw those people. $119 a month. I think I only have to have
A year.
100 a year, whatever. 119 a year, so $10 a month, whatever it is. I could probably get by without that, and I don't really stream that much from them, and I don't listen to the music, and I don't care if my packages come in 3 days as long as I spend $25. Screw this. I can cancel it. An hour later, I find out that Dinner with Racers is coming to Amazon Prime as a video.
of course.
And I'm like, oh my God, they animated Bobby Unser. I have to watch this.
So
I will forget about it, and I don't have to worry about it again for a year.
I got Amazon Prime like last week. I'm not gonna lie, I've been watching this chick flick show.
What is it?
It's called Poldark. My girlfriend got me into it. It's pretty good.
That's a humble brag about a girlfriend.
I watched Gossip Girl, but I did that willingly. It wasn't bad.
I watched
Blake Lively is just something to look at.
I was
All right.
more of a One Tree Hill guy.
All right.
Gilmore Girls.
The OC. All right, because I'm old.
But you said with your Prime, you don't listen to the music?
Not really.
That's the only streaming of Garth Brooks.
I've listened to it all.
You can keep listening.
Some of it's on. So
Hold on,
honestly,
hold on.
some of Garth is on. It's on Pandora. It's worked into
if you
Pandora.
get lucky.
Well, I don't. I mean,
So
You only get
I turn on my Dwight Yoakam station and I listen to guitars, Cadillacs, and a little bit of
Guitars?
Hulu
guitars,
raised
Cadillacs, hillbilly music.
Hulu raised our rate. Audrey and my rate for Hulu by $5 a month. So I think we're going to scale back. We've always had the live, but we never watch anything live. I'm like, I don't think it's worth paying $5 a month for something that we don't use.
Hold up.
Wait a minute.
Wait, you're going to get rid of the live one?
Yeah.
No. I watch live PD like every week.
You watch it afterwards. You never watch it whenever
That's
it's
part of the live TV. It won't show up. It'll be like
because it's live.
it'll be like Hulu on PlayStation.
Closer, Audrey.
Really?
He kept
It'll
you
be
up
like
on
Hulu
mine.
on
There you go.
PlayStation.
Which is another thing that's BS about Hulu is that even if you pay for live, you can't watch it live through your PlayStation 4 like you can your Xbox One.
So here's the thing I want to hear from you guys, and we're at various stages. Audrey and Dakota have a household. Chase,
I have a room.
you have a room in a house, but you're the paternal guy in the house, but you've got a room. Mason, you're a college student. Guffey, I don't even know how to explain you to people at this point.
lives in a box.
I'm just
We're not sure where he
and then
lives,
Sarah-
but he lives somewhere.
Sarah and I have a household. So and this is the point. People when Disney Plus came out, they're like, oh my God, I can't pay $100 and some a month for all this crap, right? So I want to know what you guys subscribe to. The point of this is that it is a sample what you want. You don't have to have it forever. You can come and go. If you want Sling, if you want YouTube TV, if you want to have HBO, whatever the product is, they come and go. You can drop them and add them, and it doesn't matter. I want to know, and we'll go around the room. We'll start with Chase. What do you actually subscribe to? Because are you the person that's spending on every one of these platforms because, oh my gosh, I can't not have access to The Daily Show?
Does Pornhub count?
No, that's, do you have the free or the premium?
I'm not paying for porn. Do I look like an amateur?
I feel like you're the guy, Chase, that just watches it to see if his video comes up.
I heard that pays well.
The Jacksonville.
I've never paid for cable TV. I haven't watched cable
You've never
TV.
had a plug-in cable TV in your name in your life.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't watched cable TV on a regular basis since I was in high school, which was 7 years ago. I usually stream to Netflix.
Do you pay for your Netflix?
I do pay for my Netflix.
Okay.
Pay for my Hulu, too.
Uh-huh. Hulu, which version? Just like the $6 a month version?
I do the no commercials, and I just realized that I still have the HBO package.
On Hulu.
Because I got charged for it again. And I canceled it like a month ago, but apparently I had 2. So I'm going to have to recancel it because Game of Thrones is done. I have Amazon Prime. That's about it.
So you're Netflix,
hold on.
Hulu.
And I do the NFL Sunday ticket every year. I'll get DirecTV as soon as Katie's out of school. I got 2 years left.
Because you've got a way.
Oh, yeah.
I'll let you use mine.
I mean, Katie has the NFL Sunday ticket. So that's basically what I stream.
So, but it's all streaming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no need to have cable.
And how do you stream? Do you have, do you just do it on your phone or do you have like an internet connection at the house?
Oh yeah, I do it mainly through my PS4, and then if I'm on the road and the football game's on, I'll do it through my phone.
All right, Audrey. I assume Dakota doesn't really know what happens in the house, and you handle this stuff.
Yeah, no.
What do you people have?
Well,
I was talking to Audrey.
Yeah, what the heck?
God,
okay.
I'm just gonna go ahead.
You're so rude.
Do you know what we have?
I know we basically pay for Hulu and Amazon. No, we don't even pay for Amazon.
We don't?
I hope my mom isn't watching.
So Monica logs into the Amazon at your house every time.
I think it's under hers because we opened it up whenever I was in college.
Oh, yeah.
So it was free, and then it went to her card. And she also pays for the Netflix. So we just pay for Hulu.
We also pay for Netflix.
Do we?
Yeah. Correct.
So my mom is using your Netflix.
Well, you're using her Amazon.
Correct.
True.
It balances out.
Okay.
It all nets out.
Audrey's grandma also lives with us, so we have.
You use her HBO and
We
Pornhub?
have. We have the most extensive cable package that you can have.
So you
on the
do
face of the
have
earth.
cable, real cable.
Yes.
Me and your
Real
grandma
cable.
are friends on
Real
Pornhub.
TV.
You follow her.
We watch a lot of the same videos.
Oh no.
Handies with Alan.
Oh, that was an inside joke from earlier.
You're welcome.
No, it's we do.
Dakota is the worst. How do you live with this?
Huh, inside joke.
Because I was racking my brain.
Good callback.
You wouldn't get it.
Yeah. No, we have very extensive cable, but we never watch it. There's one TV in a common area that's actually hooked up to the cable, and we went out there one day like 2 weeks ago, and we were like, "Hey, we have like real TV."
So do you do this with like a Fire Stick, or what do you use?
Comcast.
No, your stream.
Oh, our streaming. No, we use we have a smart TV.
So it's through the TVs.
We have a smart TV, and then we also have Xbox One and a PlayStation 4.
Why would you have both?
I guess if there's
Because I like
games
PlayStation.
on that I can't watch on Sunday Ticket, I just stream through my dad's login on DirecTV. So I guess I use that too.
So you borrow that. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
confessions. So I think sports are the big issue here, like how you've got to be connected, because most of the other items you can probably get away with without it. I honestly could probably, if it was not for sports, YouTube is probably enough for me. I can see enough of what I want just watching YouTube videos and local content creators or things that got put up there, or a segment of, hey, so-and-so was on the Jimmy Kimmel show or Conan O'Brien, and that 8-minute segment, the thing that you care about was there anyway. So I probably could get by without having a TBS account or without having NBC, because they put it all on YouTube anyway. That's gotten better over the last few years. But if we're looking at the Morrell family, we've got YouTube TV, which is incredible. That's what we use for all of our sports, and I get 99% of what I care about. We just talked about how we killed the Hulu. We've got Prime, which we hardly ever use. And
You got to start watching Poldark, man.
we borrow the HBO Go from Danny, my brother, but we also provide Netflix to a lot of people. A lot of people borrow my Netflix, and to the point where there are 5 names. They allow you to have a family and have 5 names on there, and they're all people that aren't inside my house. For a while, people, and they get jealous of each other. So I'll get a call from one of them and say, "Who the hell is Susan?" Like, none of your business. You just stay on your side. So that's we do that. So that's the setup.
Yeah, I think that YouTube. I could live with YouTube and Amazon Prime, and that's it. Because Amazon Prime has got some quality TV shows. I enjoy it. Well, like Curb Your Enthusiasm is only available on Amazon Prime.
It's also on HBO Go if you borrow that.
I don't borrow that from anyone. I'm a pretty honest person, except for Hulu or Amazon Prime. But YouTube is surprising because if you watch without ads, then it's amazing the types of rabbit holes of very quality content that is produced and uploaded to YouTube you can go down.
As a content creator, I appreciate it. So yeah, I think we probably didn't use Amazon as much because we've adopted Google so strong. We've got Chromecast everywhere. We've got the Google Minis that you can talk to. We use YouTube. We use YouTube TV. I use Gmail. So I use the full Google suite. And Amazon and Google fought with each other for so long that up until the last maybe 2 months, you could not cast Amazon Prime videos to Google items, and the Fire Stick, and just recently in the last couple of months, has added YouTube TV support back. So they've taken off the holy war, and Amazon.com
So
now sells you Google products, and they were mad, and that's finally calmed down a little bit.
Gotcha.
Sarah's in the chat saying, God, she just won't stop. Do you guys, does your wife do this to you sometimes? My wife's in the chat reminding me that I did watch the entire series of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which they do have. I mean, Amazon has that. They have not House of Cards. They have Man in High Castle.
Jack Reacher.
Sarah won't let me watch it. She only wants to see Jim in The Office.
So good.
So we're not allowed to see Harrison Ford knockoff.
Well, and I guess
Sad
Netflix.
life.
Netflix also has some really good original TV series. Peaky Blinders.
Oh, the Peaky Blinders.
I'm having trouble getting into that one. I've seen like 2 episodes and I like it.
Take a
does
few
take a
episodes,
while.
man.
I like it, but I always find something else to watch it.
Yeah, you go. Hey,
Catches my attention.
hey, let's watch The Office or Parks and Rec or
I
Arrested Development.
I think it took the majority of the first season for me to really get into it.
Yeah, I think like the season finale came around and I was like, ooh, I want to watch the next one. And
Yeah.
then
I think it's a show I'll get into eventually.
So where do you foresee the streaming wars taking us?
Well,
Is it?
I want to finish with
what about
with Mason and Guffey.
I don't really. Mason, he barely has enough to pay.
We told him
I
20
actually
minutes
buy
ago
one.
he couldn't
right.
speak until
You
he's
buy
spoken
one?
to, and it's finally his turn.
I actually pay for one myself, and that's Disney Plus.
Lord have mercy.
It's got the bundle, $12.99.
You're in the 10 million.
The basic Hulu, the ESPN Plus, which I really like.
So I am a little bit on the side of I want to see the Peyton Manning videos.
It is
for
exactly
Disney
that's
Plus.
the sole reason I got the bundle is to see Peyton's corner.
Make him a little hotter.
Yeah,
pretty please.
I wish I could do that too. But no, so I've got the basic Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus.
So you have the basic Hulu with commercials.
Yeah, which I don't mind because there's only like 3.
But it's like torture. They're the same
It's the
commercials.
exact same
They make you want to
commercial.
kill yourself.
I get on my phone during it, so I really don't care.
Oh,
But
man, it drives me
then
crazy. I used to
we-
have to mute them. I muted them, and then I was like, you know
It
what?
just-
It's worth paying $5 extra a month, so I don't.
we
have
don't
to
even
deal
get
with
that
this.
anymore, though, do we?
Well, it's nice
I
because
still
you
get
just
commercials, so it's not worth it.
Online. You get commercials on live programs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
recently like the Arby's commercials on there. It's like, do you want a petite steak from some steakhouse, or do you want a steak in a bun? We've got the meat. You know, the stupid Arby's commercial. But that one, and then we
Hey,
have
Arby's, hit us up.
we have free Netflix through T-Mobile that we don't even utilize. because we are already paying for it, so I don't pay for it anyways. And we stream through PlayStation
So you have
View.
T-Mobile?
Yeah.
How do you get through life without any data?
I don't have. I literally don't have any problem with it.
Are you on Wi-Fi everywhere?
No, I don't have any problem with it.
Okay.
He's up in Lafayette.
Yeah, you're in Lafayette and you're in Spiceland, I guess. At my house, T-Mobile does not work.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I've tried it there. But I mean, that's like one of the one of the places that doesn't work. They're about to merge with Sprint, and they're going to have real nice signal. But
Wall originator Chris Spangle he's always had Chris Galt around, who was one of the original co-hosts. He's a T-Mobile salesman, and he's tried to hook me up for many, many years. Yeah. And
ain't happening, Galt.
It doesn't work.
Back off.
Then we use PlayStation View, and it's got all the sports channels. Yeah. It's a really good package.
Aren't they killing that?
But they're killing
going
it in
away?
January. Yeah. And
So
I really enjoyed it. I mean, I tried to talk my dad into it for a year just to start streaming.
My wife is so drunk, she just put our Wi-Fi password in the chat. So that's cool.
I already knew the Wi-Fi password. I knew the Wi-Fi password.
Why is it Big Dong 69?
Because it should be. Guffey, what's your confession here?
Okay, so let's see. I have Netflix.
Who pays for the Netflix?
Hold on. I'm just going to bundle these all together.
Oh, wait. All the ones you don't pay for?
Yeah. I have Netflix, YouTube TV. Those are provided to me by one Jeremiah
Those are
Morrell
compensation for his work he does here.
I have Hulu from a guy from work as well, but it doesn't work because I don't have Wi-Fi at home. But it works whenever I have Wi-Fi around.
So he comes to the studio.
Mm-hmm. I have Amazon Prime, sponsored by another coworker. And then I also have Disney Plus, sponsored by a third coworker.
You're like the little guy everybody adopts.
You are the giant mooch of this whole group.
Yep.
I don't think Disney Plus has a screen limit on it, does it?
Yeah, you can 5.
Is it 5?
Yep.
Mason, can I be in your family?
I can give you my password.
I'll make it worth it to you.
I'll give you guys my password.
Chris, Jeremiah used to pay me by taking me fishing, but then he got married.
Yeah, he pays me by
Sarah
Netflix
says we can't go
services.
fishing anymore.
I've never been paid. I still have to pay for my BERT ticket, so.
And I think that's all I have.
You want to go fishing Saturday, Chase?
Sure.
Can we?
Oh, and
we'll talk about it later.
then I also use Tubi.
What the hell's Tubi?
It's just got free videos on it. Free movies and
Is it
stuff.
like Crackle for the Xbox 360?
I used to use Crackle.
I used Crackle because
I know why you
something
used
was on
Crackle,
there that I
Chase,
was into, and I don't remember what it was.
I think I watched Joe Dirt 2 on Crackle.
News Radio. There was one season of News Radio available on Crackle, and I was very excited. Chad can go fishing whenever he wants. God help my wife, Chase. It's not good. It's not good.
Call him Chad.
Chad. She called him a Chad, and ye wants, and then
I'd rather be like Chaz or something.
Okay.
That sounds way cooler.
So the question is are we just paying for cable again at this point?
I'm not.
Hey, you're not paying for anything, Chris.
Hey, listen. When you have friends that love you, they give you stuff.
You sound like somebody.
I mean, cable can get super expensive though. But if you add the Wi-Fi, everything else.
Say, I
don't have Wi-Fi.
You know, there's basic cable packages depending on how many people you have in your house, how many TVs. I think ours was up. We had Direct TV, and it was up to $150 a month, something
You could spend
like that.
hundreds.
Yeah, just on cable.
And now what's happening is Comcast has got data cap limits for houses. So luckily where I live,
screwed.
We have
MetroNet. You have Metro.
we have the MetroNet.
I like MetroNet.
And they don't have a data cap. But I know one of my friends that recently cut the cord and went to all streaming. His house has gone over the 1 gig data cap for his house the last 2 months. So he's looking at having to drop his speed and increase whatever. So now people that don't know what the hell they're doing with internet connection, I want the biggest speed. I gotta have it. Gotta have the fastest one.
But it's got a cap.
It's got a cap, and they're going to overextend it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It takes a little finagling.
I think
all of a sudden now you have to pay more attention than just turn the TV on and it works.
Yeah, I think that's Wi-Fi might be the biggest cost in streaming. I personally think. I mean, packages, unless you're getting damn near everything possible. You know, I gotta have HBO Cinemax Stars.
Just Just have unlimited data on Verizon and then stream from your phone. That's what I do.
That's what I do.
So you guys,
For the most part.
and you have somebody pays for internet in your residence.
Yeah.
So it's like $60 a month for us to have internet. Audrey, do you have any idea what it costs you? Or somebody in your residence also pays? Grandma pays for the internet?
Yeah, I think it goes.
No, we split it by.
Well, it's
the whole-
split, but she pays
our
up front.
cable bill is bundled with a landline, cable, internet, home security.
What is a landline? I'm just asking. Is that the one that still has like a 987 in front of it?
Yes, that's
Who was
correct.
that? Oh,
That's what gets you put in the phone book.
You know, I'll be honest. I don't even know what our landline.
So you're
phone
telling me
number
I
is.
could? Do they even make phone books?
I think I remember what it is.
Don't give it out.
Somebody's going to call
You could
your
probably just
grandma.
white page it if you
I
really want it.
disconnected the jack that was in the family room just like last week.
What? Just so you didn't have to hear it ring?
No, just the jack only.
Oh.
There was no phone attached to it.
Oh, I see what
Just
you're
the jack. No, it is cheaper if you bundle all four of those together instead of just getting the three put together.
Yeah, I think when my grandma was trying to get Wi-Fi out of her house, they were like, "Yeah, it's actually like $20 cheaper if you just bundle it with the landline." She said,
And-
"I don't need that damn thing ringing."
Her phone rings all the time.
You can just unplug it.
It's like only telemarketers and
Exactly.
and political pollsters that call landlines.
And old people.
And I can't even remember what it costs because we only pay 2/3 of it. So I know what it costs us, but I don't know what the other.
I don't think
third
I've
is.
had landline
So if you
in the
have
house since I was
2/3, you
12.
can divide that in two. You get 1/3, and you add that onto your cost, Dakota.
That's true.
That's total cost.
Math by Mason. Woo! Yeah. All right. I had the same thought, but I said, no, I'm not going to spell it out. But Mason went there.
Somewhere around 119.
See, I think we pay like 70 just for Wi-Fi at my house
Yeah.
because it's not bundled.
He calls it Wi-Fi, as if it's only the Wi-Fi. You pay for a data connection, and then
Okay,
you turn
data
it into
connection.
Wi-Fi.
Same.
Our Wi-Fi.
You pay for
is
internet.
Very slow though. I will say that.
Do you have
So-
Frontier or you have Xfinity?
Xfinity.
Even if you
Ours has
you
gotten
pay
slow.
for cable, let's say it balances out to where it's about the same. You end up watching reruns of Shark Tank, or what's the other one I used to love? It's on HGTV.
House Hunters.
Fixer Upper.
House Hunters. I love Fixer Upper. It was okay.
I like
Brothers.
I like some
No,
House
they're-
Hunters.
You have a thing for the.
They're a
for
little
Chip,
too
right?
close.
You
They're
have
a
a
little
thing
too
for Chip?
close.
He's got a thing for Chip for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Listen,
Hey.
Chip's a man. Okay, one day I can be like Chip.
That's a Baylor Bear.
Then
right
I've
there.
made it.
He just watches it through the demolition day.
No,
and
you
then he
just
gives
you
up.
end up watching
Just
reruns.
when they take the shirt
of
off and
House
knock the windows
Hunters.
down, and then Chase
you
has
see him
got to move on to the
Throw
next
that,
episode.
throw that hammer through the wall.
Got what I wanted.
If you were to watch it where he streams, like all the videos are like this far into it.
Holmes.
You just
Same
watch
thing.
reruns.
You just
though.
watch for that old Canadian guy, Holmes on Holmes, where he's ripping shit out.
What is that? What
Do you
is-
notice how they're all Canadian, by the way? Because the people in Toronto give them tax breaks to do all these shows in Canada.
There's another old like comedy home improvement show that I used to watch all the time
It's
whenever
Trading
I was in high
Spaces.
school. No,
Home Improvement.
no.
Wait, what's that?
Red Green.
Wife swap.
The Red Green Show.
The Red Green Show.
Nanny,
you are a
nanny
boomer.
Swap.
Loved that show.
You're 74 years old on the inside.
Whenever listen,
This
whenever
is a nice cardigan you didn't
Yeah.
wear tonight.
listen,
Cardigan,
whenever
excuse
Looks like
you.
a jacket to me.
it's a jacket, but oh, excuse him.
The last time
Whenever-
I had cable.
Do you and Audrey have a Davenport
Whenever
now? Did you
I
get
was
a new couch?
yeah, when we did get a new couch.
We did get a new couch.
I heard
Whenever
there
I
a
was
box burner.
younger, we only had a very basic cable package, so I could only watch
You were
reruns of
deprived.
old shows.
What, on PBS?
Yeah, we had PBS. I watched
Wait,
PBS.
what's that line one between two?
That's Dragon Tales.
No,
What are we talking
Oh, you're talking about the...
between two lines or something.
Oh, yeah, that's like
Oh,
the
yeah,
reading
yeah.
one or something?
Yeah.
It's like they're puppets.
Okay,
I don't know.
Oh, the
But anyway,
little hand
my
things.
my
Zaboomafoo.
my biggest favorite shows whenever I was in like middle school were Scrubs and the Red Green Show.
Is it really called Red Green?
Yeah,
Yes.
the Red
The
Green
Red
Show.
Green Show.
I've never heard of that.
It's because it's before your time, Mason.
It is hilarious. It's a great show.
And it was a home improvement show?
kind of.
It was a
is.
sketch comedy show.
Yeah.
What was it on?
It was redneck as hell, like RFD TV,
What's that?
rural free delivery television.
Last time I had cable, all I did was watch Fox News like 24/7. So it was probably a good thing I moved away.
All right. We're moving on.
What? Fox News.
There's new technology. This is a
right.
technology episode tonight, if we haven't figured this out yet.
Tesla, Elon Musk went up on a stage, and he had people come up there with sledgehammers and hit the brand new Tesla truck, which he has branded the Cybertruck. And then he had a couple people throw giant metal balls at the windows to prove that they are shatter resistant. And they're shatter resistant, which means that they're not going to burst everywhere and fall into the car and be completely destroyed. But somehow the media and the public took that as meaning they won't break ever.
Could you shoot through them?
The windows.
Probably shoot through the windows.
The Beast.
You cannot shoot through the car body. It's made out of what he calls 30x cold rolled steel.
Cold rolled.
And it is impervious to full metal jacket 9mm rounds.
So what you're saying is,
He built a
if you're going
killdozer.
to rob a bank,
Yes.
that's the truck to use.
I mean, they're probably going to still be able to shoot your head.
As long as like Mexico is only 500 miles away. Yeah.
So this is what's cool is it can be configured. It's 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. Sarah and I were doing some research last night, and the 85. You can go back and look at old Auto Trader videos for SUVs and stuff. The 85 Suburban was 0 to 60 in 15 seconds.
Wow.
It was insane how different these are, right? It says it's got a 3,500 pound payload capacity, although I don't have a payload in it when it doesn't have a bed. It looks like an SUV.
It does have a
Wait,
bed.
it doesn't
has
have a truck bed?
It has a 6.5-foot bed.
It's got a cap.
Yeah,
it's got the weird sides. I guess I haven't seen
it's a
enough
rolled
pictures.
cover,
Okay.
hard plastic cover.
So you just pop it off?
You can, you roll it up just like how my truck it rolls
Like
up.
a tonneau cover.
Yes.
So
yes.
are these numbers based off which package you buy?
Yes.
This is like
This
every
is-
other Ford truck. They show you, hey, it's
right.
it's $10,000 for the cheap one, but if you want all the cool stuff, you
It's
have
about
to spend.
$70,000.
Yeah, you have to spend the big money.
The numbers,
it's like every other truck.
the numbers that I put in the show notes that is for the three motor
the
all-wheel
tri.
drive
Yeah.
vehicle.
Oh, hey, Dakota. I was going to mention when you were talking about the glass and they threw those bearings and it kind of just broke through. Elon Musk came out and he explained how it happened. When they took the sledgehammer and they hit the door, it actually cracked just a little bit on the bottom. And then so when they threw that steel bearing, it just
The big deal
shattered.
is that it's a giant metal ball.
Yeah.
And they throw it at it, and it had already been beaten up and shot, and it still didn't completely shatter the glass or go through.
exactly.
It's very tough.
So
What's this thing look like?
It looks like a
you not
DeLorean.
seen- You ever
Hold on.
seen
the-
Here you go
From Batman.
I can
that,
explain
like-
this. I can explain this. Did you ever play Halo?
Yes.
Do you know what the Warthog looks like?
Oh, yeah.
It looks like that.
Okay.
But in
looks like-
stainless
So what
steel.
you're saying is, like, if you threw a deer in the back, would it look normal? Or would it be...
None of this looks
You
normal.
wouldn't see it.
You could
You
roll
wouldn't see
it
the deer.
down, you wouldn't see the deer.
It literally just looks like a trapezoid on wheels.
It looks like a DeLorean and a Pontiac Aztec. had
Like,
a
are you
baby.
going to get made fun of if you drive this thing?
I think it's a status symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you would get made fun of. People would just be like, "Whoa, look at that guy."
So
He's got gray hair and he's 70, but his wife's 25.
Yeah, he's got 10 sugar babies.
Speaking of a deer in the back, there was a
there was a Newcastle picture. It was the most Indiana thing ever. Somebody had the
way to just steal my story, Jeremiah.
I'm trying to stay
right
on
out
track.
of my mouth.
Why don't you go spend 2 minutes in the penalty box?
Constantly interrupted on my own damn show. God,
Who's the boss?
I'm walking off.
Who's the boss?
There's an S on the end of hogs, right?
No.
No, there's not. There's just
Oh.
one.
I mean, it depends upon if you say Croker or not.
You don't even know the
Krokers.
name of the show that you're on.
Oh.
You keep telling us these stories of you promoting it up at Purdue, but now
I just put it on a whiteboard once.
For a good time called Chase. So
No, that's the Jehovah Witness with you.
The trick of this is only 500 miles.
Wait, we never went to the
Only?
story about the deer in the back of the car.
yeah, yeah.
You were trying to keep it on track, remember? And then you didn't.
Is the deer in the show notes?
Okay, let's not go there.
Somebody was stopped on State Road 3 in front of the Walmart by the old Best Western, and had two deer legs hanging out of the back of the old Holiday Inn, the old Best Western, the
Johnny
old
Wong's
Raintree.
Chinese.
And
It's in a restaurant. That's
and the legs are hanging out of the back of the trunk of the Oldsmobile sedan.
it's hilarious.
Very Newcastle. Very Newcastle. All right.
Well, I heard the reason that
this thing
they
only
did
goes-
that.
I heard the reason they did that was because the guy totaled his truck. So he went back in his wife's car and was like, if I can't have my truck, I'm going to have the deer.
500 miles. That's all. That you can. So
500 miles on a single charge. However, you can get a couple hundred miles off of just a 20-minute charge.
But how is that? So they talk about this thing being able to tow 7 tons, right? 14,000 pounds towing with 3 motors. Is it going to go 500 miles with 1 motor? Is it going to go 500 miles with all 3 motors? And if I'm actually using it for pulling and towing, what's going to happen? I'm actually interested in it because I've got a, 6,000 pound camper that I'm going to pull. And this might be my next truck if it works out.
If you're in the Midwest, like, where are you going to charge that thing at?
At home. You got to have Dakota or Chase come by and install your 30
A lot
amp
of
outlet.
the shells have those electronic chargers installed. And, like
Do they?
parking garages have them. You're willing to pay
you would be fine.
$20 to charge.
You would
it.
just have to map it out, which planning is no problem for Jeremiah.
That's true. Or maybe okay.
You would figure it out. It's
a lot.
You would
It's a lot to
definitely
worry
go
about.
way down, but if
We can't run the air conditioner or plug in our phones, and there will be no heat because we got to make it to Erie, Pennsylvania tonight. We'll be stuck dead on the side of the road in Medina, Ohio. That's what'll happen. And nobody
the
wants to be there.
500 miles, that is only for the top of the line vehicle. I designed one. You can, if you go onto Tesla's website and you click that you want to purchase one, it will send you to a page that lets you pick out your features. And I picked out one that was just the mid-tier. It was a dual motor, and I added the self-driving feature computer to the car. Vehicle.
That's like $7,000.
Yep, $7,000, and it came out to $56,900.
So,
and that range was only like 350 miles.
So,
Zach Burcham says his Tahoe loses 50% of its range when it's towing. How is this any different? The difference is that there's a Shell station or a Flying J on every damn street corner and major intersection. You're an early adopter, man. I don't know if you're going to drive this thing to Hilton Head Island and go camp.
The infrastructure has to catch
work.
up, and there has to be a way to monetize the power that you are delivering to your vehicle. Otherwise, there is no incentive for a business to hire someone to install a charger. And we need to figure out what the going market rate is for power delivery to your vehicle. And until that's figured out, then there is absolutely zero incentive to figure that out. I don't know if there is. I don't know if there is already. If other gas stations have already figured that out, like if for every watt of electricity you use, this is how much we're going to charge you. If that's how it works, and you swipe your debit card just like a gas station or what.
Well, and it can it refill fast enough? I can get you. It's like a rapid charge on a phone. Yeah, I can get you 50% in 20 minutes. But
right.
If you want to get 100% and go that full 250 or 300 miles, whatever that number is going to be, I need you to be here for 6 hours. So you can't do a cross country trip with it. And that's the problem.
I think that the big thing for something like the Tesla truck, whenever we were talking about the cover for the bed, there needs to be a way to integrate solar panels on that bed cover or on the roof of the vehicle itself to try to just give you a little bit more mileage.
What are you going to get? A 10 amp trickle? I mean, you're not going to get.
It just depends. Are you driving in Los Angeles or are you driving in Spiceland on a day like today?
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of variables, which I think is
in town,
the reason
it's great.
It's not there.
In town, it's great. I love the idea. And if you have some sort of a renewable source, then, you're not powering this thing with coal or natural gas or some horrible destructive means of producing electricity.
I only power my Tesla through wind energy.
See, a person like myself should never own a truck like this because I like to see how close I can get that. Once it hits 50 miles left, I like to see how close I can get to zero. It gets to 20.
You like to feel the
My
rush.
adrenaline starts to go. See, if I get to 15. And then, I'd be dying everywhere.
Then eventually you'd be calling your dad and
No,
saying,
he wouldn't because he's
bring
got
the generator out to me.
Dakota, he's got a dead cell phone battery too, and he's trying to charge it off of the truck that's dead now.
Yeah.
Battery pack, thank you very much.
You're gonna need a real big one in the back of your 3,000 payload.
I'm sure you can plug
truck.
that USB into that truck.
So they have been really successful. They have $14 billion worth of pre-orders already. They announced it and people say, it's crap. You can't pre-sell these things for $100 and expect them to go. And there was a LinkedIn article that I read today that said hotels count that as future revenue all the damn time. You haven't paid for your hotel, but they know that you're coming and you're going to buy and you're going to stay there in a few months. Sarah and I are staying in Denver here in about 3 weeks and we have a $350 reservation with the Hilton, and that's future revenue for them. They get to count it, right? So, and Tesla's done this before with the Model 3. They had $16 billion they had $14 billion in pre-orders for that. The $14 billion was from the Model 3. This is going to do something similar. And they made $16 billion last year on the 3. So it did actually land pretty darn close to that number. $14 billion in pre-order. They did $16 billion in revenue off that car now. They're over $25 billion a year in annual revenue at Tesla. They're a legit car company.
If Joe Rogan put on his Facebook page that he has already pre-ordered one. So,
if you pre-order one for the $100, right? Does that guarantee like they're having one for you the way you ordered it?
I would assume so.
You're on the list.
Does this mean you're pre-approved, like for whatever it is?
You have a deposit. You still have to pay for the damn thing.
Yeah, I understand that. But does that mean like no matter what, you're going to be approved for whatever interest rate on this loan?
No, you have an
Tesla is not your.
They're not your bank.
Okay, I was just confused.
Yeah, you have an agreement with Tesla.
You ever bought a car before, Mason?
You're going to have to go down to Brad.
I tried and then wrecked it.
You're going to have to go down to Brad Brewer at the Perfect Circle Credit Union and say, "Hey, Brad, I'm a prospect and I'm going to be somebody someday.
So you need to give me a loan.
I'm going to need $57,000 plus tax to pay for my Tesla. I put the $100 down, so I just need $56,800 plus tax."
So would they deliver it to like a Tesla dealership around me?
I think Tesla has. They don't have dealerships. You go to a mall and you look at one and then you order it and they'll bring it to you.
Okay, so they're not going to bring a financial advisor with them and say, "Here's your loan options." I have to find that loan myself.
I would imagine that Tesla's website probably has financing, but I've not looked into it. I've not been that serious about my Tesla.
People who buy Teslas usually don't have that problem. So.
I think that electric vehicles are the absolute future. I think it's inevitable. They perform way better than our gas cars already. Yeah, already they're performing way better than our gas powered vehicles. The range on them is very competitive. I think that the Buick that we have is about 325 miles on one tank of gas. And
you're doing it wrong.
Something like that.
I get over 400. You guys don't drive it far enough.
Okay, well,
I drove to Lexington and back with the same vehicle last Friday.
That's fine. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I'm just saying that
your
Teslas are competitive to other vehicles.
I'm taking away your man card. If you don't know your miles per gallon, get out.
Get
out of the club.
That is miles divided by how many gallons is in your car, and that's how many miles per gallon you get.
I got about 380, almost 400, but I was also running 80, 85 most of the way home.
Yeah, I get about 400 in my old 2013.
All I know is I can
let somebody come get me
halfway through Tennessee before I have to fill up again.
In your truck?
In my truck.
That's really good. That's really good. How many tanks you got on that thing?
I have no idea.
Just the one? Front tank, rear tank?
It's really big.
You got cost you like $98 to fill it up.
Probably about 80 something.
Yeah, it's not cheap. That Tahoe, it's not tiny either. All right, so Dakota wants to ask the question: is this a truck you could consider yourself buying in the future? We'll start with Guffey and work our way the other way.
Absolutely. I would 100% buy this truck. I'd have to buy the top tier so I could go 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds and be able to haul 14,000 pounds whenever you get done with your camper, I can buy it.
Mason?
Are
you a pickup man like Joe Diffie?
I think I'd buy it because I don't think that much is too bad, and it's a Tesla. Like, it's a Tesla.
It's a status symbol.
It's exactly. You can say, "I have a Tesla."
I got a Tesla,
but I don't know if I'd buy the truck. I'd probably go with the car, one of their cars, not the truck.
The Model 3, Model S, and the Model X.
I don't know, just one of them.
I don't know that I love the aesthetics of it. Like, I don't know that I love how it looks, but the spec sheet, yeah, absolutely. If they can figure out the recharge and it's economically reasonable, then yeah, I have no problem considering it. Our 4 years from now, we're probably looking at replacing the Tahoe, and I would love to find something that I can get 25 miles per gallon and haul 8,000 pounds and has a decently long wheelbase. That's what I care about. I don't care if it's electric or diesel or gas or whatever that is. So yeah, it'd totally be a factor for the Morrell house. DD?
If you can get your work to pay for it.
What about you, Dakota?
I would buy the truck. 100%. I think that So I thought that it looked dumb at first, and then I saw it with a little bit of the beefier wheels that they had on as an option to get on the truck, and it looks way better with the beefier wheels and tires on it than the standard ones.
I mean, I will say that I'm only buying from John over at Andy Moore Buick GMC, so we're going to have to buy a Tesla
hopefully
through him.
Get a Tesla.
Otherwise, we're staying with our boy John. But
I think it's neat, and I've wanted an electric vehicle for a while. We tossed it around before we bought the Buick, but it's just there's a lot of costs up front that have to go into it whenever you're looking at an electric vehicle.
Now, isn't in Indiana, if you have an electric vehicle, isn't it higher on your?
You have to pay a use tax for an electric vehicle because you don't pay
gas tax.
Gas tax. Yeah.
What's your electric bill going to look like?
I don't think it would be that much because it would be a lot if you put it on a supercharge. Yeah. Because there's different settings for the chargers. But I would assume that like you park it at nighttime and you put it on a trickle charge overnight, then it's not going to be extremely high.
What about you, Audrey Joe?
I love how Chase is taking over. He's got this.
Because he wore a beanie.
Indifferent.
You're indifferent? Mm. I know you liked the other Teslas whenever we talked about it, and then we looked at some of the other competing, in quotes, electric vehicles from other manufacturers, and they all looked like dog turds.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Chevy Spark. Isn't that an electric vehicle? Those things are ugly.
So ugly. And Honda has one as well that's like they tried to bring back the half-covered wheels, like the recessed wheels, and that looks horrible.
Back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Chase?
I'm not going to buy a Tesla until it has the flying option. Once they get that going, then yeah, I'll probably buy one.
Audrey, did we talk about everything we needed to make you happy about cord cutting?
Yeah.
You're good?
We're good.
All right. I wanted to make sure because I think you and Dakota had a miscommunication earlier today about what
he already told my story, so I'm a little upset about it.
So are you going to eat the placenta or not? We should have a poll.
We already talked.
I think you should, and then
make a poll out of that, Guffey.
Let's not make a poll out of
What do we make a poll out of?
If Audrey should eat the placenta or not.
The placenta Oreo balls.
I think you should make the placenta Oreo balls,
Kim
and we just
Kardashian
all enjoy
did.
them.
And look at her.
That is bio waste.
I'll eat them. I don't
disgusting.
care.
Listen,
I think you're a cannibal, buddy.
Kim K ate the placenta, and she had like a six-pack the next week.
Yeah, and she's also a lawyer now.
Oh, yeah.
Helped her brain. Look at where she started, Audrey.
She's also in California. So
how did she get her start? I've lost track.
It's a pretty famous start. One of the best comeback stories of all time.
And her father was a great race car driver. All right, Chase.
What?
Yeah. Well, yeah, her stepdaddy. Her father was a great lawyer. He got OJ off, and that's how good he was.
Yeah.
Her stepdaddy.
And OJ's which
Hello,
daughter
Twitter
is?
world.
It's yours.
I love
truly.
that.
He's Khloe Kardashian's dad, right?
No. No. There's no.
All right. Here we go. Chase.
Here we go.
Yes.
We do you remember us talking about this and having you were all ready to go?
Yes.
You're going to walk us through legalized sports betting in Indiana.
I'm a professional.
You're a professional. You've got far more success than any of the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
You won over $1,000 on a parlay
Yes.
in this current month. So we were going to look at.
I'm not up 1,000 anymore.
we were going to look at a game and have you bet it tonight and see how it goes. So
Okay.
if you could just open your app.
All right.
What app do you prefer to use?
FanDuel Sportsbook.
Okay, so you use the FanDuel.
Oh, yeah.
And you like the NBA? You like college
I
basketball?
like it all, Jer.
What?
Except for tennis. I don't understand tennis yet.
Chase is a gambling
I take My vote is for we bet on college basketball.
I love college basketball.
So are you, Chase? Here's the thing. I want to know if we're going to get in on it's about 8:30 right now on a Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
You can do live game bets, right? You can get in right now and find out if you're going to win or lose. So I can fire up the studio TV if it works. It looks like somebody may have unplugged us. It keeps trying to turn on and it keeps turning off. So this is not working as it should be. But we can turn the TV on. We can find a game on. And oh my gosh, my wife is trying to be the.
Please don't drop the light on me.
She keeps touching the lights, and it's going to fall on Mason again.
17 parlay going right now.
You currently have a 17 parlay. What is a parlay?
It's where you bet on more than one team to win.
So 7 things have to happen.
7 teams have to win,
for you to
or
make your money.
You can bet the over or the spread, but it has to happen. It's 7 different games you're betting on, or you can do a 2-team parlay. That's what I won the 1,000 on.
Okay, so let's say that right now we want to put some action.
Okay.
On
go
the
to
Maui Invitational.
Go to Appalachian State.
That's what I was going to say.
Take East Tennessee.
Take
State.
Appalachian State right now.
I did
already.
I took them earlier today.
Well,
I don't know that we get that in the studio.
No, they weren't.
They weren't. Well, they're down 6. That's what I was saying. Take them because there's 10 minutes left.
It would work a lot easier if you would just take one of the games that we can watch in the studio.
If this 17 parlay wins, I get $3,187 off a $5 bet. Right now, I'm winning, or at least close to tying, in 2 games, and I'm down in the Appalachian State game. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. All right, so I'm going to say.
Well,
can you find the Dayton game? Is Dayton on your list of options on your menu?
Hold on, let me go live. In some
Virginia
games.
Tech.
Like, even if it's live, they won't let you bet. You know, there's usually a shorter list for the live betting. I love doing that. I should have won $70 last night, but the Warriors screwed me over.
So you at some point determined that every team has killed you. I believe the Spurs or the Jazz.
The Lions,
you were very upset at the Spurs and Jazz last week.
Have killed me. The Spurs have killed me multiple times.
Did you put money on the Notre Dame game when you went?
I had them in a parlay, but they were like.
They were so high.
They were
favorites,
so favored, like
barely made anything.
Yeah, I
like
would have made
$1.
like 75 cents.
All right. So do you have this Dayton Virginia Tech game available? Let's keep them on track. All right. So in live betting, you can do something with this Virginia Tech.
I have Virginia Tech winning that game.
You straight up already have a bet on this.
Yeah.
How much money do we have on it?
$5.
You have $5 on this game for Virginia Tech to win.
I can bet them live right now.
We're in the first quarter and it's 27-23. Virginia Tech was
29-23, Jared.
29-23. Yeah, they hit a shot.
If I bet $5 right now, I could win 14-25.
On Dayton or on Virginia Tech?
On Virginia Tech. If I bet Dayton, $5 bet.
He's keying.
I'd win $1.35.
So what you do is you just throw a bunch of favorites in a parlay for $5.
Yeah.
And then you make about
100. Yeah. I've done that. I do that. I got screwed over. By some team last week because I bet all the favorites. There's always usually that one.
You want to throw one upset.
Yeah, there's always one upset, and you just try to figure out which one.
So, Chase, would you say that you're?
I'm addicted.
Yeah.
I get on every day, and I look at the college basketball games. I'll look at the basketball games. I'll put down 4 bets of $5 each, and I go through all the schedules. And I look at it, I compare the games. So if a team's like 5-0 versus a team that's 3-4 or something like that.
You say, that 5-0 team's mine. We're riding that horse.
Well, no. I'll look at the schedules, and that 5-0 versus no name teams. I see this 3-4 team, and their schedules looking. They beat a couple no name teams. They beat one good team.
Do you care about the RPI?
I look at like points scored per game.
You know what the RPI is?
Points against per game, rebounds. Football, I know the teams pretty well. So I just kind of go off my knowledge.
Your gut.
My gut feeling for that week.
Is it harder early in the year?
It's much harder.
Right now, early college basketball where nobody's playing anybody?
Yeah, because no one's playing anybody. I mean, a lot of teams could be 5-0 or 4-0, and they've played no-name teams. So
and Butler's played IUPUI and Valpo.
Yeah. I
I
bet on
played
Butler
Maryland.
tonight.
Played Maryland. Missouri last night.
I also
Not a bad schedule.
I like doing one bet a day where I'll bet like a ton of underdogs. And if I bet a $5 bet, I could win 70 grand. I just like looking at that. And it might last a game or two. And
like to
it
have
always
that hope.
loses, but it's just a thought, It's kind of like buying a $5 scratch off.
it's
What
just
are
the
the
thought of
chances?
they seeing that on one voucher, and then you only get about 55 of it because taxes come out and everything
Hey,
else.
listen.
Is Chase the reason that sports betting was illegal for so long?
I'm up.
Worries of addiction.
Listen, I'm up. I've won probably over 1,300
How much
since I started.
have you lost?
I've lost probably 200 or 300.
So you're $1,000 ahead
Yeah, around 1,000.
in this
hey,
fiscal
listen,
year.
I won $1,000. The first thing I did was pay off the debt I owed on a credit card, and then I put the rest in like a savings account. I saved like $100 on it. I gambled it away.
So, what was the experience like in a live event? Like, have you gone and you've been able to sit in the stands and bet? Do you think this is going to make people want to go to games, or do you think it's going to make them actually want to sit at home and watch them on TV?
Sit at home, watch them on TV. Don't get me wrong; like it made the Notre Dame game more exciting. I had them in a parlay, so I'm watching them win. That was cool. Like if the next Chicago Bears game I go, they'll probably be the underdog. I'll bet on them every time.
What if? Do they have prop bets as well? So the next
boost.
play is going to be a loss of 3 yards running, right?
Yeah.
Or it's going to be a pass or a
So
run.
I don't normally do those. I thought about doing it during the baseball playoffs. Like the next hit's going to be a double or a single. You can do all those. I like that. I haven't got into it too much yet.
Those odds are like super high too, and you can if
Yeah,
you
you
go
can
down,
make
you
money.
can make a lot of money. Like last night, if you would have bet that Lamar Jackson throws for 5
No,
touchdowns
so
for $5, it probably would have paid out 10.
there was an
grand.
odd boost last night that I did, and it was
You said
Lamar.
an odd boost?
Yeah. So for every night there'll be different odd boosts. So like last night there was one for Lamar Jackson throwing 2+ touchdowns and the Ravens winning. It was like plus 350 or something like that. I bet $5. I won $20, something like that. And then I was thinking, man, I should have bet like 40 on this, and I would have really made something. But there's always like the Texans, Colts, Patriots winning this week, plus 600. It'll take that what would normally be a plus 100 bet to 300 plus 300. You're going to make more money off of it. It's like a promo type thing. I like them. They have one for this Thursday that the Lions, the Cowboys, I can't remember who the other team is, are all going to win. It's like plus 300. Not going to happen because the Lions are playing the Bears, but
For Thursday, for Thanksgiving Thursday,
Yes.
there's a special promo for those 3,
yes,
but you don't like it.
I don't like it.
No, there's
I don't like the Cowboys for that game or the Lions.
on my bookie through Australia. Their Thanksgiving promo is a up to $250 risk-free bet. So if you lose on the bet, they give you a $250 voucher with a one-time rollover.
Yeah. So like sportsbook, you can do a $500 bet and you can get $500 of credit back if you lose. But why would you do a $500 bet?
So can you
Unless you
name
got
whatever
the
bet
cash.
you want to have? Can you say, hey, I think that Virginia Tech's going to lead at halftime in this game, in this Dayton game? Or is it a menu of options and you can just say, oh, yeah, it's who's going to win at this point once the game's already started? What kind of options do you have?
So the options you have, it depends on the game. You have multiple options. There are options you can have where this team's going to lead at half. The spread's going to be this at half or at the end of the game. Stuff like that.
How terrified are you when you get started of not knowing what the hell you're doing and just losing money? Like, shit, I lost money again. Shit, I lost money again.
I watched sports all my life. If you don't watch sports, you shouldn't bet on sports. So you go in having an understanding of, I don't bet on chess. I don't know.
You feel like you've been studying
Listen,
for this.
when I first started, I had this rule. I still do it. If I win anything over 40, I'll put in that back into my bank account. So if I win $80, I'll put in 40. I'll keep 40 in there. And I'll gamble that 40 away. If I win $100, I'll keep 40 of it. I'll put the rest in my bank account.
So you'll keep 40 for future betting.
Yeah.
And everything else is found profits.
Yeah. A lot of times I'll spend about $40 a night on gambling.
So $40 a night.
Yeah, and I'm still up $1,000.
Yeah. And how long has this been going on?
Three weeks.
I'm on a heater.
Well, I'm not betting $100 a night. You know,
What's the most money you've had in play in a day?
Probably 60.
$60?
Yeah. But usually I'm winning at least some of that back. I usually cut even most nights at least. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some nights I'll lose it all, but it's like $20 or $40, and I'm up 1,000, so it's worth it.
He's always got that mindset. He's up 1,000. He's only lost 1,200, but he hit for 1,000 one time.
I hit.
Do you find yourself
multiple
needing
times
more?
A week for like $20 or $50? You know?
So we were talking about cord cutting. Do you find yourself needing more channels?
I will say,
will you only bet on stuff you can watch, or are you sitting there watching?
It is the
on
reason
your
why I picked ESPN Plus back up this week, because they have all the no-name games. But every time I start watching them, my team starts sucking. So I try to check periodically. But I mean, if you're gonna bet on sports, don't be stupid and don't go bet 1,000 if you don't have it. You know, if you win some, put some back, and you know.
That's if you're using a legal gambling site, because it takes about 4 weeks to get it out of the illegal. But
then someone comes and beats you up. You know.
All right. Well, that's a little glimpse into it. Dakota, you got any more questions for him? Are you convinced? Are you ready? No. You've not really spent
like
any
a person
time.
like Dakota shouldn't bet on sports.
But do you think I'm qualified?
I'm just saying,
you're qualified.
Real men gamble on
horses. You'd probably be pretty good at it. Put in $20.
Real
so
men.
Double it.
I gotta talk to my guy. I've got a whole thing. I've got a thing. I got to talk to a guy about doubling and getting the right juice.
So
there's no
once I start.
No better live bet than the old track.
The horse track, Mason. The horse track. It pissed me off when I figured out that it was parimutuel, and the odds change constantly.
It's adrenaline.
That is complete BS. Complete BS.
And the horse with the cool name never wins.
You won that one time on the cool name.
Smarty Jones won
the second time. It was a good night.
That's the extent of what we have planned.
Hold on.
Dakota should bet on like politics or something.
You can.
You
can.
We have to mention.
I'm not a gambler. I don't like spending the money.
We have 3 weeks left in our 2 weeks.
3 weeks left in the regular season.
In the fantasy.
In the Chase, Jeremiah, and Guffey Fantasy Football League that Chase is the superintendent of. You haven't spent all of our winning money yet on your gambling, right? You didn't.
Oh, I got the 1,000.
You didn't take everybody's $100 and fund your gambling to start the season, did you?
You know, I'll keep that to myself.
That all balances out in the end, right?
The money will be there when it matters.
No, me and Guffey had this bet that whoever ends up with the better record makes it further in the playoffs. If both people make it to the playoffs, the loser has to add the other on Facebook because he hasn't added me because he's not a true friend.
Whoa. You haven't added me.
No, but I like your post.
I can't like yours. Yours isn't a public.
Are you friends with his girlfriend?
Probably not.
You're not friends with Paige?
I've met her.
I'm friends with your girlfriend.
Chase, we're not friends on Facebook.
It's true. I've seen you a couple times.
I'm going to be honest. Mason and Chase, I think it's the first time you guys have been in the studio at the same time together.
No, it's not.
Maybe the second.
No, like third, maybe.
I thought this was the first.
No, it's not.
I think this is the second.
I think you finally met at the horse track.
I know I've talked to you over when you've been on the phone.
What?
When you call in from school?
Oh, that was one time.
Oh, well, I was there that time. I remember talking.
Yeah, that was back to the old studio.
We've had this conversation before. They have been on a show together in the past.
Yeah, and it was kind of recently
because we said we were like, this is the first time you guys have been on a podcast.
I don't remember that at all.
It's like
I had a couple concussions back in the day, and I hit my head pretty hard at work yesterday.
It's like Mason is replacement Chase.
That's why you wear a hard hat.
Let me tell you, man.
All right, so fantasy football update, Guffey. Where are we at in this league? How are things looking?
Well,
you were very low in the standings last time.
I was in like 9th or 10th place, but within the last 5 weeks, I have rallied with a 5-game win streak.
8 teams go to the playoffs in this league,
and
I know that.
I am currently.
Is it an 18 play? I thought
it is.
Moved it to 6.
You should have, because you would have been out.
8 make the playoffs, and then there's a loser playoffs.
Yep, I am currently in 4th place. I am the top of the 4 of us: me, Jeremiah, Chase, and Mr. Potter. I am the top of us. Jeremiah, you are in 6th. Fat Dusty, known as Chase.
I was in 9th place last week, and I beat the tar out of Chase to move into 6th and get back into the playoffs.
And
That's okay.
Mr. Potter is in 9th.
So normally fantasy football runs my life around this time of the year, but I haven't been paying them that much attention to it because I have an addiction now to sports gambling. But Guffey, I want you to know that I play to get into the playoffs, and then once the playoffs start, that's when I start.
It's all right.
I'm like the Patriots.
You got to make it there first.
I made it in 8th place, and I made it all the way to the championship game and won $80.
Well, that's not going to happen this year.
All right.
So final thoughts, Guffey.
Yeah, so I actually have I wrote down fantasy, but we've talked about that. So this Saturday, I will be going to another sporting event, not your typical, the DCCW, which is the Delaware County Championship Wrestling. It is over at Mad Jack's in Muncie. So I'll be there. I have front row tickets.
Mad Jack's? Where the hell is Mad Jack's?
You know the Garden Brewery? It's that building. It's attached to that building.
Yeah. Mad Jack, not Mad Jack.
Mad Jack.
It's on Madison Street.
It's not Detroit either.
It's Detroit.
So
you're at the old Cintas building is where you're at.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yep. So I will be front row watching some good old wrestling because I'm a true sports fan and I go to all local events, unlike Chase, who is only a bettor.
You go to all the local events, even though the Trojans open their series tonight. Their home season.
I'm there in
basketball,
spirit.
And none of us are there.
I'm there in spirit.
Mason, buddy.
Final thoughts. Well, last Friday, as we said earlier, we attended a hockey game. It was my first. I went on a lovely date with nobody. Did not successfully find a female.
Did you get out of your chair and try?
I would have got lost. I didn't really know my place around that place. It was like the first
a big
time.
circle.
I could have got you.
The first time I went there was for the circus. So, and it definitely
How old
didn't.
were you?
I would think I was in like 3rd grade. But we went. Didn't find a girlfriend, but what's new? But I did get the great experience of driving Mr. and Mrs. Kevin Potter, or Mrs. and Mr., however you want to say it, Kevin Potter home from
You were
Indiana
DD.
Farmers
For some 60-year-olds.
Fieldhouse or whatever.
It's the Coliseum.
It was. I don't know what it's called. Pepsi Coliseum.
Yeah,
Indiana
Pepsi
Farmers.
Coliseum.
Okay.
It's the Hoosier Dome.
But
yeah.
Yep. And I had the great experience of driving the Equinox, and Kevin Potter ate all my candy in the back seat.
What'd you have?
I had a nice share-sized bag of Heath bars and a few $100 and Mr. Potter was very aggravated when he could not find the $100 that I put my hand into the bag and pulled them directly out.
Now I know why the next day when I took him to the racetrack, he had an upset stomach. Now it makes sense, Mason.
Oh, I'm sure it was the $100 and the Heath bars.
It was all of the chocolate he ate at 10 or 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, but we had a good time driving home. I got to learn about the Miss, I don't know her maiden name, but Mrs. Potter's side of the family. We got real close.
You don't know Libby's maiden name? She was Miss Egbert before she was Mrs.
Egbert?
Potter.
Okay,
yes.
Libby Egbert. We got. I love Kevin and Libby. I have just as much.
I think
fun
they've
as them with
adopted
them.
you now, so Thanksgiving will be hang out there from noon to 6, and then we're moving on.
I will finish it. I will be having salmon patties with them here soon. Kevin promised, so I'm excited for that.
Chase, buddy.
I don't have many final thoughts this time.
That's rare for you.
I know.
You don't have anybody upset?
No. I don't want to go there. I could. When do you turn 21?
July.
Since there's not going to be an engagement trip to Nashville, I think we should go for his 21st.
Hey, I'm down.
Take Mason for his 21st.
Listen, I'm down. It's going to be nice and warm.
There's not going to be an engagement trip.
We might have to go. We might have to go in August, but we could do it.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the day.
Can we put that on the table right now? I motion. Who seconds my motion? We'll get this. I'll second it rolling.
Do you really want to go with a bunch
Audrey may not be going, but she can do the Airbnb and get everything.
Do you want to go with some 25?
You can take care of all the parking.
Dudes
Yeah.
for your 21st birthday.
I'll second his motion.
Seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Against. The motion passes.
Hearing no nays, the motion passes.
All right, so
Put that in the minutes, Mr. Secretary.
Mason's birthday will be held in Nashville, Tennessee.
Can we take the mics and everything
In
live
August.
podcast from a pub in Nashville, Tennessee?
We'll do it from that karaoke bar.
God,
if we don't go to a karaoke bar so I can sing Garth.
There's a really
all
good
night
karaoke bar down there.
Oh, we had a good time. We do a little bit of Willie Nelson. And
That's fine too.
Yeah.
I'll do anything. I'm pumped. I've got plans. I'm marking it in my calendar.
There's joy in his face.
I think Mason has to see Jeremiah like projectile vomiting around his life.
I've seen it multiple
I'm not going to
times.
take care of him. It's
On
my
the
birthday.
On my lap.
Just do what we did and ditch him.
Chase takes care
Wait,
of that.
didn't you guys stand in line for breakfast outside while he like vomited in the street?
And
you
we all
actually-
pretended to not know him.
Say, as long as I just
On
want
his
one
own
thing out of
bachelor
this
party.
trip. We do get tour tickets to the Grand Ole Opry.
If
I
you,
think about that way too often.
We've got a couple months to plan it.
We got time.
Yep.
That's what I need.
We're gonna put it
That's
on the
4
chalkboard
vacations
right there.
away. All right, put it up there.
Where's the chalk?
Put it up there, little buddy. All right, Chase. Thanks for doing that.
Where's
Audrey,
the chalk?
I have nothing. I'm pretty tired.
you're gonna have a baby, and you're gonna vaccinate,
Yes.
and you're gonna do a home water birth.
All vaccination kids die.
We don't have a tub, but it's okay.
Dakota's remodeling constantly. He can build you a tub. You got 2 months.
No.
Do you promise to not have the kid until I get back from Florida?
When do you get back from Florida?
That needs to say get fucked up with Mason for his 21st in Nashville.
When do I get back from Florida? What? Okay, so like, how much of me do you want at the hospital?
None.
Like, so some.
0.
So like 5 minutes after?
Yeah.
We gotta be live stream it.
What day are you guys due?
The
I think it's a
24th.
Wednesday, isn't it?
It looks like I'm going to be home on the 24th. So, I if you can hold it until the 25th.
That says that you're going to be.
We get back on like the 22nd
Yeah.
or the 23rd.
No, that says that you are staying at a resort and spa through the 25th.
So this is a funny story, Dakota. That's Google reading my emails, and that was the hotel I accidentally booked that I screwed up.
We will fly back
So we're just
on
gonna
the
delete that.
24th.
A boomer.
So we will be
It
back
wasn't-
on your due
It
date.
wasn't my fault. I will not be staying at the Bonaventure. My
You kind
flight.
of look like a boomer.
What is
That's
that?
my flight there.
I didn't know that.
I mean, I look at you and I look at Keenan and I'm twins, man.
Not twins.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we return home on the 24th.
We'll
All
be
right.
back on your due date.
Yeah, we'll be here. I'll swing by on the way through.
There you go.
Yeah,
Once we get back from the airport and we probably sat on the
You're
tarmac
gonna-
for 3 hours, we're going to come and
on the way back from Greenfield. I won't be
greet
showered and I'll be in a
Jackson on
bad
his
mood.
way.
But I'll hold your baby.
You're just going to swing through Muncie where he's being born.
Yeah.
not Muncie. It's going to be
It's gonna be
Greenfield, right?
Greenfield. I've heard Greenfield. We all voted
Muncie.
Greenfield.
Definitely Muncie.
Or Richmond.
Are you going to
Richmond.
spread all these rumors and then no one will know where it is
I have a
until like
question.
2 days
I have a
after?
question. Are we doing this donut thing for the Chicago trip?
First of all, no one said anything, so no.
Jared and I won't eat
I like
them.
donuts.
She's been
and
bitter
we can
about this
see.
the past couple days.
No,
Jared
listen,
and
I'm
I
all
will
down
not
for the
eat the
donut trip.
donuts.
Is Jack
I think
still open?
I think Katie's down
Probably.
for the. Katie won Jack's Donuts tonight. I think we should do it, and
that
I think
Coach?
they
Is she
might
pregnant?
have. Not by me.
Breaking
They
news.
might have healthy donuts for Jeremiah. Who knows?
I
All right.
highly doubt it.
Dakota, final thoughts so we can get this thing wrapped up. It's damn near 9 o'clock.
Yep, I have
It's a
no
school
final
night.
thoughts.
A couple things from me. Our friend of the show, Kent Benson, has had a rough week or two here. His wife, when he was here, he was telling us his wife is not in great shape. So thoughts and prayers for him and the family on that.
Her name's Ann, right?
Ann, and he also lost his brother this week as well. So I know that they had a fundraiser and they're raising money to help the family with some costs. Kevin and I attended the one at 1000 Degree last week up in Mount Summit. So check that out. If you guys, I know we're doing great with Red for Ed, but another big cause. Somebody who's been good to our program, good to the community. Check that fundraiser out, and if you can pitch in, that would be awesome. I know Kent was not able to attend on Wednesday, the day we made it. Kevin is a big IU fan. I'm a Purdue guy, but I go and I support things. He left a big magnet, and Kent did sign it the next day for Kevin.
It was awesome.
And
really
it was
nice
very
of
cool.
him.
So think about him. I know right now it's the front page of the Indy Star. It tells you what kind of reach is there. So thinking about them. And then we will be back a week from Thursday. We're going to do a show, I think it's December 5th.
Yep.
Talking about small town police departments. We've got Danny Lundy, who's on the Mooresville, Indiana Police Commission. He's going to join us.
He's the president of the police commission.
He's the president of that group. And then we also have, I believe he's the town marshal of Sulphur Springs. Yep. Stacy Guffey will be with us as well, talking about that from the administration side and from the actual, wearing the badge side. How small town police departments come together, how they interact, and just what it means. You roll through a small town, you say, "Oh yeah, there's the town cop," but what actually goes into it? How does it happen? How does it come together? Obviously, Knightstown's been in the news the last couple of weeks, so that'll be an interesting one. We have some playoff music tonight to wrap up the show. L. Dickin has written, recorded, produced a song, and that's going to be our walk-off music.
It sure is.
So take it away, Producer Chris.
Thank you for listening to the Boss Hog of Liberty, which is part of the We Are Libertarians Network. I am Chris Spangle, and I am the founder of this network, and I invite you to listen to all of our shows, which you can find at WeAreLibertarians.com or by searching for these in your podcatcher. The flagship show is the We Are Libertarians podcast, where we apply libertarian principles to current events. The Brian Nichols Show is a conversation amongst Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Independents, as they talk about what is happening in the news. And we have many other podcasts like The Chris Spangle Show, Upward, The Cost, Raw Audio Politics, Miranda's World, and Tad Talk, which is quite a ride. So check all of these out. Go to WeAreLibertarians.com and you can check out all of our great podcasts. Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Get our other shows at WeAreLibertarians.com.